In this PIXLR editor tutorial, I'm going to show you how to take a photograph and to mirror it and flip it to create a symmetry project. So first you're going to open up your image, and your image doesn't necessarily have to have symmetry to start with, but it does make a cooler effect if it already does. So I'm just using a stock image for this. The very first thing that you need to do is you're going to change your canvas size. So you're going to go up to Image, Canvas Size, and there's two things that you have to do here. First, you have to change your anchor point because I want this image to be centered left. So I'm going to click that middle left square. And then the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to change the width, and we have to double this number. So we have to do a little bit of math. So 612 times 2 for me is going to be, let's see, 1244. Let's see if I am right. So actually it's 1224, and click apply. And if you zoom out, you should have basically a blank empty layer that's the same size as your original photo, which looks like I did it correctly. So the second thing that we need to do is we need to duplicate our layer. So I'm going to go to Layer, Duplicate Layer, and I'm just going to click and drag that image over, and I have these guidelines to help me know that I've got it perfectly matched up. And while my layer on the right is selected, I'm going to go right up to the top here. I'm going to flip it horizontally, and that's going to create a mirror image. So I'm almost done, but I have to kind of repeat the process. I'm going to make sure that my top layer is selected, and I'm going to merge down. So now I've merged those into one full layer. Okay, so I'm going to repeat those same steps. So I'm going to go up to Image, Canvas Size, but this time I'm changing the height. And this time I'm moving that anchor point to the middle of the bottom row because I want to center this underneath. So once again, I have to do a little bit of math. So 409 times 2, let's see if I can get this right. This time it should be 818. So if I did that correctly, I should have another layer. So I've got my anchor on the bottom. I have a fresh layer here. So once again, repeat the step. Layer, duplicate layer. I'm going to click and drag it up, and I should have those pink guidelines to help me snap it. Make sure that that top layer is selected, and this time I'm going to flip vertical. And what I have created is a symmetrical composition that I've used one photograph to do some layers and flipping. When you are satisfied, you can do some editing to this after you merge it. So I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm going to merge that down so I have one complete image. If I wanted to play around with the adjustments now, I could play around with the hue and saturation. Let's see, I can go to Adjustments, Hue, Saturation, could play around with the colors, play around with saturation, lightness, get as many type of effects that I would want on there. That looks kind of cool like that. I'm going to click Apply. I'm happy with it, so File, Save, making sure that it's a JPEG, and I'm going to call this one Symmetry 1. Download it. It should appear in your downloads.